What's good, guys? It's Mike, aka Buzz Lightyear here. Gonna bring some childhood memories back at you. So this time I was about 17 or 18 years old. I was still in high school, getting ready to graduate. I think I was, I had to have been a senior. I'm not 100% sure on this one, but I think I was a senior. And I was taking psychology and sociology. And it was kind of crazy how it was set up, but I actually saw this teacher. His teacher was the coolest freaking teacher in the world, like at least one of the coolest teachers in the world. And what had happened was there was a feud, kind of not like a really like I hate you kind of feud, like a prank kind of feud going on between the teacher that was right next door to us and my teacher. And the teacher next door to us was I think he was a basketball coach, and my teacher was like I don't remember, I think a baseball coach. And so what happened was they kept pranking each other. And I was telling my teacher about things that he could do. We were kind of like goofing around. It was like one of those like slow days or whatever. And what he was doing is I was telling him about how the week before this, me and my buddies went to the mall. This mall was kind of close, maybe 10-15 minutes away, and we had this fart spray, and this fart spray smelled so bad. I'm saying like the worst egg you could smell, like complete sulfur, absolutely disgusting smell. So he's like, dude, that would be a great prank to pull on. His name was Butler, Mr. Butler. He's like, that'd be a great prank to pull on him. I'm like, well, okay, so we kind of like talked about it and we figured out, and I was like, you know, I'll bring this fart spray as long as you can tell me that I won't get in trouble. And he's like, well, yeah, you won't get in trouble if you don't pull it out. As long as it's in front of me, I don't care. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So I bring in this fart spray, and for like a week we kind of planned this out, and we're waiting for these guys to like do their thing, and it was kind of a really cool setup. The cool thing about the setup is that the classroom that we were in, it wasn't like your typical like big building. It was actually in like a portable, like movable unit or whatever. So it was kind of like a trailer, I guess you could say, like a nice trailer. And what it was is there was two ways in and two ways out, I guess you could say. There was one way on the Mr. Butler's side of the class, so, he could get in from his door, and then there was one from my teacher's. And what we did is we planned it out so that I'm sorry, to kind of help you out with this too. There was a door in between the class, so you could kind of like walk in if you needed to, I guess, in the classroom, so you didn't have to go outside, go all the way around, and go through that door. So there was another way in through both classrooms. There was like a median. And so anyways, yeah, so my teacher's like, okay, this is what we'll do. We had like one of these like long tables, like kind of like a picnic table, I guess you could say, and we blocked the other teacher's door from them getting out. So basically what would happen was I was the one that was going to be walking into this classroom with this fart spray. And I was going to act like I was going to be giving this teacher, Mr. Butler, something so that he could, whatever, I don't know what it was. It was just whatever, something fake. So I walk in and I have this fart spray. And what we did before I walked in is we put like this barrier of tables in our classroom so that when I did spray it and I ran through our classroom after, running through his, what would happen is I'd jump over the barrier, I'd get outside the door, and we would lock our door, including their door, with tables so they can't get out. So they basically smell fart smell the entire time, right? Like they can't get away from this fart smell. So it was really funny how the teacher let us kind of plan it out. So we planned it out, and it sucked. The very first time we went to go do it, we went to go check his classroom, and I walked in there, and nobody was in the classroom. And we're like, what the hell? Well, we found out like a little bit later that basically what they did is they had to go to something that he had planned for them out in like the field, or I don't know. So yeah, so we waited, and towards the end, closer to the end of class, and as he came back, we saw him all come back. We heard him get in the classroom, and they were doing their English or whatever. And then finally, he's like, "All right, it's time to go do it." So I walked in there, and I don't remember what I had, some papers or something. And I walk over there, and he goes, "What's going on?" He asked. He called me Mike or whatever. I was in this English class the year before, so he knew me. And he's like, "What's going on, Mike?" And I'm like, "Oh, nothing. Mister whatever wanted me to come over here and give this paper to you." And he goes, "Oh. Okay," like he kind of thought it was weird that I was coming over there for a piece of paper when, my teacher could have given it to him. So I come over there, and as I put it on his desk, and he just kind of stares at me weird, I turn around, and literally I start running, and I'm spraying this spray throughout the classroom. I probably sprayed a good 3, maybe even 4 times before I actually got out the middle of that class. As I'm running over the little barricade we had in our classroom, I'm still spraying this fart spray. So I could smell it already as I'm like running. So I jump over this thing, I get outside the door, we're all ready to just like kind of like lock this table in place. So we did. We were able to lock this table in place, and as we locked it, kids were starting to like push the door open, and they couldn't because it was actually, let me take you like a step back. These doors were kind of cool. Like as you walked up to the portable unit, it was like you had 3 steps up, and you had like this railing. So we were able to wedge these tables between the railing and the door. So they literally could not move this table. Like, the table was literally keeping... They were able to open the door maybe enough just for us to, like, hear them, like, get us out of here, you know? It was hella funny. Like, so, okay, so I get out this door. We wedge the door. We wedge the tables between the doors. And the next thing you know, you hear the entire classroom, oh my God, let us out. And, like, you could hear them screaming this way before I even got out the door. Like, you could just tell. The girls are grossed out. The guys are like, oh my God, they're laughing. The teacher's like, holy shit. So, anyways... That's pretty much the basis of it. We left him in there for a good 3 or 4 minutes, probably. It feels like it was probably longer. I could probably tell you it was like 5 or 10 minutes, but in all real aspects, I can't imagine it was more than maybe 2, 3, or 4 minutes that we left him in there with that stench. And then, of course, the second we let him out, you know, they were so thankful. And the one teacher's just like, I can't believe you did that to me, Mike. And I'm like, you know what, you had it coming to you. You guys are always pulling pranks on us and this and that. Like, and their pranks were so minor compared to what we'd just done to them. But it was really funny. It was really cool that our teacher was so cool about it. And it was funny because, like I mentioned in the beginning of the story, I'd actually seen my teacher a few years ago. I think I was like 21, 22, and I saw him at a bar, and he brought that story up to me, and it was really funny. So you can tell I obviously stuck with him, and that was pretty much the end of that that little feud, I guess you could say. And my teacher ended up winning the feud because of that fart spray. You know, the other guy, Mr. Butler, he's just like, you know what, I don't want to deal with that fart spray ever again. You know, you had Mike do something that I didn't ever think any other student in the world would do. So yeah, I got a little bit of a fun thing that I got to do, interact with schooling, something that you would never ever in a million years probably get to do with any other teachers or any other thing in the world. I mean, how many people can actually say that their teachers let them bring fart spray to school just to prank another teacher and lock them into a portable unit? So it was pretty tight. I thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was kind of cool. So yeah. This game's over. I'm about to get to the game-winning kill cam. I hope you guys liked it. This was the new map, Piazza. I haven't really posted any gameplay on it. So yeah, I hope you guys liked the game. I'm also going to be leaving a real quick annotation on the screen. If you guys could, go check out this gameplay I got a little while ago. I got no ratings. I'd really appreciate a thumbs up on it. It was on the map Carbon. It was a 30-3 gameplay. I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you guys could, don't forget, you can always throw me a thumbs up. If you guys want, you can always just throw me a comment in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of the story. As always, I hope you're all keeping it real. I'll talk to you soon. Peace!